Hey everybody, today we're looking at the Acura ZDX. This is the Type S trim. Acura needed something to quite literally spark up their vehicle lineup a little bit. And what better way to do it with a full electric SUV, 500 horsepower, 544 pound-feet of torque. This thing is a dream to drive. It's so much fun. But today we're going to go over all of it. We're going to talk about exterior, interior, get inside, take it out on the road, and see how it performs. Let's get to it. Okay, we're going to start the video off here, talk about powertrain stuff in this ZDX. Because it is the Type S, it's the most exciting part about it. Before I pop open the hood, it's interesting. The inside of the, right down by your foot pedal area, you have that little latch there that'll lift up, unlock the hood. It's a double pull, kind of like a BMW. The first pull, it just lifts it up a bit, but it doesn't actually unlock it. I sat here for a minute trying to find the latch. I go double pull it again. But anyways, we got strut assist going on up. Have a look under the hood. One thing I wish it had a frunk. That's something that you get in a lot of electric vehicles, all electric vehicles out there. A little bit of extra storage capacity there for all your goodies and whatnot. But anyways, powertrain stuff in this. So this is gonna be the Type S. So we have dual electric motors in this guy here. It's gonna be a full all-wheel drive system, 499 horsepower, 544 pound-feet of torque. As far as charging goes, you can go to about 20 to 80% in roughly 42 minutes. 0 to 60 time is about 5 seconds, just a little under 5 seconds there. This thing you actually can tow with it, 3,500 pounds. And then weight-wise, it's coming in just over 6,000 pounds. So with that big battery pack in this, it definitely jumps up the weight a little bit. It's Acura's heaviest vehicle in the entire lineup. It's almost the largest. It's actually 1 inch shorter than its big brother, the Acura MDX. But anyways, that's about enough for powertrain stuff. Leave that chart up there for you guys to look on through, but let's get to the exterior and talk about styling now. All right, exterior aesthetics as normal. Start off here right up front at the hood. You just got one sharp line down the middle, flares up on each end. It's kind of an interesting look. If you actually squat down and kind of look at it from lower, it's really kind of aggressive lines up here on the front of that hood, and it looks really cool. And then one thing is that gives it a big sense of symmetry with the whole Acura lineup is this front fascia bit here. You don't have this because it is an EV, you don't need a massive front grille letting in a ton of air here, but you still get these indentations here on the front fascia just to let you know that it is still an Acura. They kind of really spruced up the sizing here of the Acura badge. It's nice and big, shows you right, screams in your face that it's an Acura, even though this is riding on a GM platform. Like I mentioned a minute ago, this shares a platform with the Cadillac Lyriq and then the Chevrolet Blazer EV. Unique in its own ways, but I will point out some different areas around the vehicle where you do see a little bit of GM flair in it. But anyways, you got your front parking sensors obviously down below at the bottom. You got your forward-facing camera, and this is actually going to be your radar for, again, a shared piece of GM equipment. This uses GM Super Cruise. They use it, it's called the Acura Watch 360 hands-free drive. Works really, really well, as does the Super Cruise that by GM there. Then down at the very bottom here, you're going to have a lot of that gloss black, which gives it a nice kind of flair as well too, being the Type S. And as we move on over on the sides here, we got our headlights. So we have the chicane LED daytime running lights right here. One thing I wish they would do actually, it would be really neat if this was a sequential turn signal, just watching the light kind of pour on over. I think it would give it a really nice look, but nonetheless, this is Acura. We got the jewel headlights there, high beams. It looks very Acura. Like it does definitely stand out quite a bit from its GM partner there. But then color-wise on this guy, this is the double apex blue pearl on this. It's a very good looking color. The ZDX sticker there on the side, it's not an option or anything. This is actually, we're filming today at Southview Acura here in Edmonton. They're a fantastic crew. If you're in the area and need a new ride, reach out to them down below. Their phone number is right down there. This is their service loaner electric vehicle. So you have it all blinged out with the ZDX Type S decals and whatnot on the side. But anyways, coming on over here, we got gloss black around the wheel trim. Really nice little touch to it. I'm glad, obviously I say in all my videos, I'm glad they didn't go cheap black plastic. It's a very nice touch. But then at the very bottom, like you can see a little bit right here, and then all along the side there, you're gonna have that silver metallic. Now, I'm not 100% sure how it gives it kind of like a nice sort of airy feel to it kind of thing. It looks nice, but I don't know if I'd prefer it being silver metallic, or if I'd want just kind of gloss black going on from that front lower part of the bumper and shooting all the way down the side, because then it would kind of also match the top of the roof there, which we'll get to in a minute. Another big thing for the ZDX are these big 22-inch aluminum alloy wheels. Again, biggest tires actually in Acura's entire lineup. And then we're gonna get Brembo branded yellow Acura brake calipers, 6-piston brake calipers on this guy. And everybody knows red brake calipers, super nice, but you change it up a little bit, make them yellow. They look really, really sharp, and it's just different from everything else that's all out there. Now, of course, like I mentioned, this is a fully electric vehicle. So right here, you get your Type S badge. This is gonna be your charging port station right here. So you can go up to 190 kilowatts. Like I mentioned a minute ago, it goes from 20 to 80% in 42 minutes they're calling for, which is decently quick, but it's not the best in the entire segment across all other EV vehicles. There are some that do charge a little bit faster, and that just might be something that you will want to keep in mind if you're shopping for a vehicle that you're going to be doing long road trips with. Although this does have a great range, which we'll talk about when we get inside, it's at 66% or so right now, so we'll see how much range is left on it, and we'll talk overall numbers about its maximum capacities in a minute. Mirrors, gloss black. I like it because it is up at the height of this roof here. They went full gloss black with the roof and then with the mirror cap. I like that it does stick out with a little bit of blue there, but all gloss black along the top, and you get a full panoramic sunroof, which we'll see a bit better when we go inside the vehicle. But I'm glad they did entirely blue. There's a lot of vehicles out there where you'll have a panoramic sunroof. In front of the sunroof, they'll do gloss black, but not behind it. It'll be body color, like blue or something, whatever the body color is. I'm glad they did the entire thing. Get that two-tone, almost three-tone look almost in this ZDX here, if you include the silver metallic at the bottom. And then another thing that's similar again with GM vehicles, couple things here on the side, blind spot monitor. You got the same little icon for it as GM vehicles, and also the door handles as well too. So one thing I do actually love about GM vehicles is so they have the proximity key where it'll lock your doors. If you have your key fob in your pocket, you got to click the button there. The thing that I like that GM does is they actually utilize that on all four doors and not just your driver. So it doesn't matter where you are around the vehicle, you can get in on any single portion. And when it comes to suspension setup in this guy, this is going to be running on a 4-corner air ride suspension, and you have 3 or 4 different drive heights. You have a lower mode for entry exit. Right now this is in the lowered portion here for better aerodynamics. You can go like a mid and a high and whatnot. Actually, one thing I actually forgot about right up here at the front, and the side skirt right here, this air intake here, that actually is functional here. So it pushes through here, air curtains. You can actually see the holes for it right here on the inside of the wheel well. And then you got a lot of good carpeting in there as well too. The actual drive quality of this, which we'll get to in a couple minutes here when we get actually behind the wheel, go for a drive in this thing. It's very nice and quiet on the interior. But come on around back here. Oh, you got a little bit, I forgot to actually point this out. You got a bit of chrome on it. One thing, I wish they went with like a smoky, like a darker chrome. I think that kind of would have matched the overall theme on the Type S. Maybe even on the A-Spec, if they included that on that trim then as well too. I think that would have looked really, really sharp. On the back end now, you do have rear view mirror camera right at the very top corner. Actually, it even has a little spritzer there, so if it gets dirty and mucked up, you can spritz it, clean it off a little bit. Then you got your backup camera, backup park sensors as well too. And then I like that they did this all gloss black. I'm glad that they didn't go with the silver metallic on the back here on the lower portion of this bumper. The gloss black makes it look really, really sharp. You got your big Acura badge. I like that they make it really nice and clean here on the back too. You got your Type S logo, but you know you're packing 500 horses or 499. I don't know why they didn't bump it up just 1 more horsepower. It's kind of like me. I'm 5'11.5", but I tell everybody I'm 6 feet tall. That's what everybody's kind of doing with this vehicle here. There's ZDX E, and you got your all-wheel drive. But anyways, that's about whole exterior styling and everything that I want to talk about. Let's pop open this back trunk. Let's talk cargo capacities. All right, time to talk about trunk. As always, right beforehand, have a look at the key fob here. So, do you guys recognize it? It's a GM key fob. Looks really good though. I wish, like, you know, Acura, we got the Acura logo on the back. I was almost expecting to see that Chevy bow tie there for a minute. But I wish they would have, you know, Acura spruced it up slightly. I understand why they didn't, but it would be kind of nice if, you know, if they put a little bit of leather or some sort of different touch material, change the color, something like that. A little something to kind of defer other than just the Acura logo. But as you got your unlock, lock button, double click here for remote start, double click for the trunk button there. But you can also obviously click the button underneath here. One thing I wish they kind of would have done, that Cadillac does, I don't know if the Lyric actually does, I know the Escalade does. To open up the back hatch, you actually just click the Cadillac button on the Escalade. I'm not sure if the Lyric does. I'll have to double check that. I forgot to look into it. Or you can do the old fashioned swipe the leg underneath there. Usually that takes a couple tries. So it's a good system. It's always paying attention. But anyways, have a look at the cargo capacity inside here. Tons of room inside. Actually, let me go on this side here. So lots of room in the back here. You got all LED lighting in the back. You got a 12-volt socket right there. And then right here, you have your buttons to drop down your rear seats. So it's just a click of the button. One thing about it though, have a look at the seats. When I click this, it drops down. It kind of like bounces a little bit. You know, if it had, I would like them to see them put a bit more of a premium touch with just like an electric motor that nicely, slowly pushes it down. I don't really care. It wouldn't bother me if I was going to buy it. It's just something I'm pointing out just so you guys are all aware of. But as far as cargo room goes, you're going to get, like I mentioned before at the beginning of the video, this is actually, the vehicle's only exterior is 1 inch shorter than the MDX, but you do get significantly less cargo capacity. That just has to do with like electric motors, the big battery, all that sort of stuff. Nevertheless, with those two back seats folded in their upright position, you're going to get 28.7 cubic feet of cargo capacity in the trunk there. With both of the back seats folded down, you're going to get 62 cubic feet right on the snot. And then I like that it's not a perfectly flat floor, but I like that they put this lip here so you are completely able to slide objects on up there. And there's no button to flip the seats back up. You have to go in manually in the side door here and flip it back into its upright position there. Not the end of the world. But then you do have a couple little tie down points throughout the back here. There is a privacy cover. It's not, they took it out for the loaner vehicle, but it sits obviously right up there. And you get a little bit of little bit of storage kind of right in here as well too. And I like that they put plates here as well too, so when you are sliding things on over here, you're not going to be scratching up the cheaper plastics there. And one thing is, if you actually look here, this ending lip is right flat. Normally there's a big hump that comes up, or it comes up to this part and then drops way down and then goes. I like that this is nice and smooth. You can easily slide objects in and out. That's about enough for the trunk now. I'm excited. Let's go hop in the front seat, see how comfortable the front seat is, what this is packing technology-wise in the ZDX Type S. All right, in the interior now of the ZDX Type S, we're gonna start over there at the doors. So pretty good materials all around there. So starting right up at the very top there at the base of the window, that's all soft touch plastic. And then moving on down, you got a nice big chunk of real brushed aluminum. It's really neat. And then you have memory seating for 2 people on the passenger inside. You definitely don't see that every day. Very nice touch by Acura there. Then below that, you got a nice strip of leather there for your armrest with nice red stitching. And then you got your Bang Olufsen sound system. It's a full 18 speaker sound system in this guy. And then at the base there of the door, you're going to have all harder plastic on the bottom half by the door bin. It is a decent sized door bin. It's not super long, but it is relatively wide. You could fit a good sized water bottle in there, no doubt. But now let's move on inside of the vehicle here and talk about kind of everything in here. So starting off there, up at the dash, you got a nice stretch of leather here with that red stitching, and then you got soft touch plastic right past that as well. And then moving on down, a nice chrome strip that goes all the way across over here. And then you're gonna get a plastic bit here. I wish they would have done the brushed aluminum here. I think it would have given it a nice, really nice premium feeling touch to it. Glove box, nicely damped, comes down nice and slow. It's a decent size. It could be a little bit bigger. You got a big box kind of back here that blocks off some of the room, but it is overall a decent size glove box. Lots of space for the feet. So with electric vehicles, you're gonna get a pretty much almost completely flat floor, which you'll see in the back seat when we'll get to that in a minute here. But then over here, you got a nice aluminum sill plate here that says Type S right there. And then the seats, beautiful seats. You got full power passenger seat. And then The seats themselves, they look great and they feel even better. They're very, very comfortable, but all nice. This is the black interior color option. You can go red leather. You can go, they have one that's, I forget the name of it off the top of my head. It's a white, which is probably my personal favorite. I think it looks really sharp, but this is great. You got, it's all black, perforated Milano leather. You got all the nice red stitching throughout. You got a little bit of suede right in here, but you got fantastic lumbar support in these Acuras. So these aren't GM seats, these are Acura seats, and you can see the Type S branded there on the headrest. But they're extremely comfortable, and I'm glad they didn't go with GM seats, because GM seats, they tend to be a lot of times a little firmer. These are very soft, very comfortable, and the bolstering as well too holds you in place nicely when you're ripping around with that 499 horsepower. Here, center console, all leather. You got a good strip of leather here as well too. You got the red stitching, it looks fantastic. 24 baseballs fit on inside of there. That's all I have is 24 baseballs. You could probably fit like 5-6 more inside of here. I gotta buy some more for the next video if I'm shooting more Acuras, because they have really good center console storage. And then you also have ambient lighting down in there as well too. But then moving on forward, we have a wireless phone charging pad right in here. I like the location, I like what they did with it. The thing is, your phone kind of slides around quite a bit. I wish they would have, it is a rubber material in there. I just wish they would have leaned it down a bit more, let some of the weight of the phone kind of hold it in place a little bit better maybe. But nevertheless, it works, it's great. My car doesn't have it, so I can't complain too much. We have all that same plastic that you saw on the dash of the vehicle. Good. I'm glad that they didn't go, I forgot to mention, piano black or like gloss black there and get it all fingerprint scratched up, dusty and whatnot. It doesn't look good over time. This will age well. And then here we have big cup holders. I don't know if this is like an optical illusion, but they look very large. They have no problem fitting your Stanleys or Yetis and whatnot inside of there. And you have a nice big pad here for extra storage as well too. A couple USB-Cs, and then you also have a 12-volt port as well. And then on underneath here, you have extra storage. You could put a purse, a merce, a football, whatever it might be down there. I like that they open that up, and it is a decently sized storage spot as well too. And climate control here. So this is it's a GM style climate control. You have the same kind of dials that a GM vehicle would have. Just turn that down a bit. But the dials, they feel really nice. They're good materials, but they have a very satisfying premium click to it. Tells you the temperature right inside there. This is a tri-zone climate control, so you have control also in the back seat, which we'll get to in a little while. Then you got gloss black buttons. The gloss black, again, fingerprints and dust and whatnot, it gets dirty really quick. You're gonna wanna keep a microfiber cloth to kind of keep those clean. But I like that they actually are physical buttons. I hate when vehicles integrate everything in through the infotainment screen, touchscreen. This is fantastic. You're also gonna have heated and ventilated seats, 3 stages for both, for your driver and passenger. And then coming on up, I like the shape of the vents here actually, and they're actually really strong vents. I cranked them up a minute ago. But anyways, infotainment screen, just over 11 inches here for the screen. You get a ton of information here, especially with it being an EV vehicle. You have a lot of charging information, that kind of related stuff. You get ambient lighting in this guy, and you have a good plethora of different color options that you can do, and you can actually customize it between the lower and upper portions that have the ambient lighting in here. Really nice touch by them. This also, it does have an auto park assist. You can choose which way you're actually parking the vehicle, whether it be it's not giving me the whole list. I don't know how to pull the whole list up. Well, I think it's sensing what's around me, but this is for like a parallel park. But it'll control it for you. I think you just have to use the throttle. It'll do all the steering for you, and it has also emergency braking. So if you are about to bump into the car behind you, it will brake before you actually do hit there. You get a lot of good charging information. You can actually plug it in and set dates and times in which you want to start charging at. Pull up the camera system. This does obviously come with a 360 camera package. The quality of the cameras, they could be a little bit higher definition in my opinion. I know some people it might bother some people, but you know, it's I don't know, it's not quite the end of the world, I guess you could say, but they definitely could be higher quality though, for sure. And then also when you hit this button, I wish it would give you like that whole animation where you can kind of swipe and spin around the vehicle. It would be a nice neat little touch, but every vehicle out there has obviously room for improvement. You have a vehicle status page, which is actually very interesting here. So you can view your whole ZDX. It'd be kind of neat if you could change the color of it and match it in that double A-spec Apex Blue, sorry. You can click, you can look at all your different tire pressures throughout the entire vehicle, energy efficiency, you can energy usage, blah, 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 all that good stuff. This does come integrated with Google Assistant, and you're also going to have Google Maps as well built into this guy. Also, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto are wireless in this. So no cords, no bird's nest of cords down below, filling it all up. So you have all your climate controls in here, but you're also going to have a climate section actually inside the screen there that just gives you a little bit more customability as well too. And then drive mode buttons. So usually in Acura interiors, you're going to have a big stock right here with your park, drive, neutral, reverse buttons all kind of in a row here, and then a drive mode dial. The dial is going to actually be over here. I'll show it to you when we get over to this side of the vehicle, but I'll show you the animations right now here on the screen. So you have your sport mode, snow mode, normal, individual. So individual is actually, it's a customized, you can customize it to your own personal preferences as well too. But yeah, plenty of stuff that you have to play around with there. And then coming on up a little bit more, we got our mirror here. It does have the camera as well too. And then coming up a bit more, we got one thing it's missing, no sunglasses holder. I don't know where to put my sunglasses inside of this vehicle. I'm shocked that they actually missed that in here. But what it does have is a full-size panoramic sunroof, does open and tilt as well too, and you have a power shade that closes on over it. That's about enough for the passenger inside. Let's come in the driver's seat, have a look at this steering wheel and driver display screen, and then driver's seat of the ZDX. Okay guys, here we are, driver's side time. Quickly gonna touch on the doors, pretty much the exact same as the passenger inside. You get that nice brushed aluminum here, memory seating for 2 people. All of your buttons here for your your mirrors, and then your window buttons down below. I wish they would have taken a little bit of this real aluminum and put them though on some of these buttons here. Just kind of spruce it up, give it more of an Acura premium luxury type feel touch to it. Then your Bang Olufsen speaker, you got your same size door bins there, and then you have a button right down there for opening the back hatch. Then here you got that same aluminum Type S sill plate, 16-way adjustable seats. And now I'll take the camera and you guys can have a look at the inside now of this Acura. So we have the vehicle turned off at the moment. Actually, hold on, let me open the door and close it. There we go. So it shows your battery percentage, 65%. We got 309 kilometers left to empty at the moment. So we'll start it up and you'll hear the wonderful GM chime, actually. So Acura didn't give it its own little chime there, which is fine. I mean, the GM one sounds great and everything. Another GM thing, steering wheel. This is a GM steering wheel, Acura logo right smack in the middle there, but it is a great steering wheel. The proportions are great. It feels amazing to hold on to here. It's all nice perforated leather. You got the red stitch work, cross stitch work actually on it as well too. It looks fantastic. And then you have the Acura 360 watch hands-free driving bar at the top, also known as Super Cruise at the very top. But that's so that'll illuminate in green when you do have Acura 360 watch hands-free driving activated. But anyways, so we're gonna start with the steering wheel here. So left-hand side is gonna be your Acura 360 watch hands-free driving button there. So when you click it right now, just because we are in a parked position, it's just saying that we can't do it. So we'll show that to you later when we're actually out on the road. And then you have the button, this toggle here. You can change up the gap for that adaptive cruise control there. And then I forgot to mention flat bottom here, and then you also got the Type S inside of there, not just the Acura logo. But the rest of this just cruise control related stuff. Right hand side here is going to be media, and then your driver display screen customizations and whatnot. So this button right here is going to change your different animations and different modes and your screen layout. I wish that it was a little bit more customizable. It does show a lot of great information. There's no doubt about that at all. It's just, I wish there was a little bit more that you can fine tune yourself exactly to how you want. And also on this side, you're also going to get your heated steering wheel button. And then you have your voice control button. So if you have, say, an iPhone plugged into this using Apple CarPlay, actually wirelessly Apple CarPlay, if you hold this down, it'll actually activate Siri. And then if you have an Android phone plugged in, or with no Android phone plugged in, because this does have Google Assistant, this will activate your Google Assistant for you to talk to and help you out with whatever you got going on. But anyways, back here, will change up the screen. So with this being an EV vehicle, it does show a lot of good information on this particular screen here while you're driving around. So on the back of the steering wheel here, you have this paddle shifter here, which is for adjusting the tension of the regenerative braking. So you can do full on one pedal driving on this. It will bring you right down to a full stop. It actually is really nice, and it is very quick to stop if you're going at low speeds in the parking lots. I personally really like that a lot. But the screen itself, very bright. The animations are very crisp and clear, high definition. I like how this portion here hangs out so much. I'm glad that Acura did that, just to block any more sunlight that might be intruding in there. Both these screens are very bright. You wouldn't have a problem with that anyways. It's just, it is nice that it does give it that little bit more shade. And then up here as well too, I don't know if you guys can, oh actually you can, right there at the tip of my finger is our heads up display, which you do get in the Type S here. It is very nice and bright as well too, I might add. So if you are, say for example, like me living here in Canada, we get snow up here. So your whole background, everything that you're looking at is all white. And a lot of times when the heads up displays aren't super bright, it's really hard to see it when you have the snowy white background. With this, you're not gonna have that issue. I can guarantee it. It is super bright and in your face. Other than that, that's mostly everything. Oh, actually, I almost forgot about this. Your drive mode stock here. So this is, it reminds me kind of like a Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes has been doing drive mode select, or not drive mode select, sorry, changing gears this way for a long time now. But this is a GM stock here. So to control it, foot on the brake, you pull it out, you put it in neutral, down for drive, and then up for reverse. Or you just click the chrome button on the end there, and then I'll put it back into park. And then you get that little GM chime that comes in there for a quick second as well too. And then right down here, this is the drive mode button selector right there that I talked about earlier in the video. So when you click on that, you sweep through all your different drive modes. Also down here, you have your lane keep assist button, an auto hold feature. And then this, like I mentioned, it has the 4-corner air ride suspension. So we click on that. I think I had it in a higher position. Yeah, so you can go lowered, you can go normal, you can go increased height. I'm just going to put it back into the lowered position just because that's what I'm going to be driving around for. In the test drive portion of this, it'll say vehicle lowering, and it'll give you this little blinking icon down there at the bottom, and it'll say, oh, there you go. It'll just stop, sorry, actually stop blinking once it's done lowering. It actually acts pretty quickly overall. But that's about it here for our driver's seat. Oh, one last thing, and then we'll get in the back seat here. Aluminum pedals. I wish they would do an aluminum dead pedal though, but I love the aluminum pedals. Gives it that nice Type S performance feel to it. But anyways, that's about enough for the front seat. Let's hop in the back, see how comfortable those rear seating passengers are in the ZDX Type S. Okay, here we are in the back seat now of the ZDX. Quick touch on the doors. You still get that aluminum nice finish. I really think they brought that to the back seat here. Little Bang & Olufsen sound system speaker. And then you got smaller door bin, but it is, again, nice and wide, kind of like those front seat ones. So you can fit a decent sized water bottle in there. 4-way automatic windows, and their automatic up as well too. And then you get sunshades for your rear seating passengers, and they are nice dimmed windows, but they're kind of small actually. Now that I'm sitting back here, they're a little bit smaller. Anyways, but as far as seating position, comfort back here, the ZDX is a very comfortable backseat riding vehicle. With it being, again, 1 inch shorter than the MDX, it is nice and long. So you get a lot of knee room, a lot of foot room. Headroom wise, it's pretty good. I mean, I can sit back, my head's not touching, the hair is brushing the headliner a little bit. That's just because of the full panoramic sunroof here. It obviously is gonna lower down that roof a little bit, but overall not too bad at all. And the seats are just as comfortable as the front. You just don't get as aggressive bolstering obviously in the back here, but actually at the bottom, because I'm a parent, these are fantastic, super easily accessible latches there for car seats. So if you're a parent putting your kid in the back seat, really easy to do that. I know a lot of vehicles are very difficult to try to find them. You got to really wedge inside there to try to feel around. We got airplane style back of the seat storage here, and then this is really neat. So completely flat bottom floor. So if you actually are sitting in the middle of this here, you're not right. You can keep your feet in the middle of this hump here. You're not fighting for leg room with your friends here on the sides. And it actually kind of slopes down here on the seat, and kind of see that it fits me perfectly, honestly. And it's relatively comfortable. And the headroom actually is pretty much, it's actually better in the middle here than it is on the sides, funny enough. It's usually completely the other way around. But in these seats here, you're also gonna get, this folds down, nice leather padded, 2 cup holders there. These seats you can recline them a little bit right there, only a slight little amount, but every little bit helps. And then like I mentioned, this is a tri-zone climate control. So you have your own climate control knob back here. You can control your own fan speed. You got a couple vents, heated seats, 3 stages for both passengers in the rear. Then you have your home power source and a couple more USB-Cs there on the bottom. But other than that, that really wraps up the whole back seat here. Let's get back in the driver's seat, take this guy out on the road and see how she performs. Okay guys, here we are driving the ZDX. Do a little acceleration here. I'll slow it down a bit. Actually, we'll go right from 0. So 0 to 60, here you go, 3, 2, 1. All right, that's a little over 60 there. So the thing is, with this vehicle, the power is phenomenal. It is obviously 499 horsepower is a lot, but what they do in this vehicle is it's a very progressive at the very low speeds. So you don't get 100% of that torque right from sitting at 0. So for example, right now I'm just cruising along at just below 50 kilometers an hour. If I hit the gas now, it'll give you 100%. So you can, there we go. And this thing is definitely very fast. There's no doubt about that. You get that instantaneous maximum torque from those 2 electric motors, and it really puts you back in the seat. And it's a lot of fun to drive. So we'll definitely have to do that a few more times throughout this. But other than that, like actually driving around overall, so the windows, for example, the dual pane windows, you get acoustic glass throughout the interior here. Driving around and then not even having an engine noise inside of it as well too. It's really, really nice and quiet as you're cruising around. I keep forgetting about the regenerative braking because you got that paddle right over here. The regenerative braking acts, it gives you a lot of brake force. So every single time at like slightly lower speeds, you take your foot completely off the gas pedal, just because I'm used to doing that all the time, and it really kind of like takes me by surprise a little bit and brakes quite hard. But I'll put a little bit of juice back to the battery each time that you kind of do that, or even just ease off of the gas pedal there. I'm going to turn right here because this seems like a spot that I can put my foot down to the pedal again. Oh good, we got a green light now. But the suspension feels great. That 4-corner air ride suspension feels really, really good. I'll go around this corner nice and quick. Oh man. One good investment you might want to do right away when buying this Type S here is it's got the 12-volt outlet down there. You might want to get yourself a radar detector because this thing is dangerous for that. You're gonna get definitely a little bit excited, and I find I have a lead foot as I'm driving around in here. But overall, it's so nice and quiet inside here. You have very, very little to no road noise. I don't hear vehicles around me. Like we're on relatively pretty busy roads. I don't hear other engines, even semi trucks going by. It's very, very quiet. And then you also have obviously the Bang Olufsen sound system too, which sounds phenomenal. You get a little bit of, they try to put a little bit of sound in to the cabin through the speakers while you're accelerating, just kind of give you a sense of an engine or something along the lines of that. But I'm very happy with this ZDX. I haven't driven a ton of electric vehicles or high performance electric vehicles. I'm more of a gas kind of guy, but this thing is a dream to drive. I could definitely see myself using this as a daily or weekend fun vehicle. But anyways, we're gonna go on back to the dealership now, give the vehicle back to Southview Acura. I'll see you guys back outside. Okay everybody, that's it for today on the ZDX Type S. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts on this guy, how it stacks up against its competition. It shares the platform with the Chevrolet Blazer EV and also that Cadillac Lyriq. So let me know in comparison how you feel about this ZDX in comparison to those vehicles. Do you like it better, more, somewhere in the middle? I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But other than that, Appreciate you guys sticking around to the end of the video. If you are a subscriber already, thanks for supporting the channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that like, comment, subscribe, all of the buttons down below. Share with your friends. Well, that's it for today. We'll see you on the next one.